What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Hard Count. And you know what, CJ? We're finally back. We're finally back, just the two of us. Listen, you went away for a little bit, did some stuff. And I was here taking it over. Then you come back. Your boy got sick. I was sick for the last couple of weeks, but you held it down. But not anymore. We are back. We're better than ever. And CJ, we're ready to break down some football. But how are you doing on this wonderful Tuesday night, baby?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Birthday yesterday. Just chill vibes. Had a good time, man. Just ready to get it rocking. Talk some football with my guy, man. Back in tune.
You know, CJ, I feel bad. I feel bad because I know on your Sunday post on IG, you wrote something about your birthday. And then the next day on Monday, I was like, yo, I got to text CJ for his birthday, but I don't want to sound stupid and it not be his birthday. So I went back to go check if the IG post was still there, and it wasn't there anymore. So I never texted you out of fear that I was wrong, but now I feel bad. So happy belated, my guy.
Appreciate that, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Hope you hope you enjoyed what a nice little 22. You looking so young.
Nah. 27, man. Living good, bro. Life's good.
That's what we like to hear. But all right, listen, we might as well jump into it right away. So I will pull up the screen right here with all the scores, and we'll just start going over it as we will. We'll go down the list, break down each game individually a little bit, and then obviously we will get into some of the other storylines throughout the week and our predictions for week 3. CJ, this is the first time me and you are on the same show where we actually get to make predictions for the week. So I'm excited because I've been making those predictions over there on Gen Z. I didn't get off to such a hot start like I did last year, so I'm a little disappointed in myself. But you know what? We're gonna bounce back. We're gonna bounce back. But all right. So let's get into it. We'll start it off with the Thursday game, and that would be the football team and the Giants. Listen, I don't know what the NFL did this year. I'm kind of shocked a little bit, honestly, CJ. These Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night games actually been pretty good. And for some
Word.
reason, I feel like the NFL always has a hard time with their primetime games, but they've done well so far. What did you think of the Thursday night football game, Giants and football team?
I thought it was good. You look at divisional games, always going to be competitive. Both teams going at it. Just the Giants, they had multiple opportunities to score, multiple opportunities to win the game. They had that Daniel Jones touchdown that got taken away because of a holding call, and Slayton dropped a gimme. Got to catch that on the right side of the field. They're just penalties, man. They had that W easy. But what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? All is well, man. Hope everything's good. But yeah, so I was there for the taking for New York, and Taylor Heineke came in there and capitalized, made some big time plays at Fitzpatrick's absence. And this is what he did last year in that first round, that wild card matchup against Tampa Bay. So the team, they trust him to make plays. He had that interception to Bradbury. Thought that might have been the game. That might have been something that could have gave him the L, but the Giants gave it right back to the Washington football team. Hopefully they could get a name soon here too. That would be great. If you get a name.
CJ, I'm not going to lie to you. I think I'm in the minority here, along with Caleb. I low key like football team.
What's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Steady. Yeah, like I'm used to it now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Barkley and Gibson sold me in my fantasy, bro. Oh,
CJ, I'm gonna just say I gave you the work in the fantasy.
Bro, it's crazy because I had Aaron Jones in 2 of my other leagues, and in one league I lost by like 3 points. I thought he was carrying. I was like, yeah, bro, if he could get. And then they put AJ Dillon in with like 4 minutes left. I'm like, all right, man.
I had to play him in one league. It didn't go so well.
Bro, he carried. I was like, this is the only guy I got playing tonight. If he could give me like 40, he got damn near 38. I was like, oh shit, but it's all good. But yeah, I like the football team too. I like the name. It's calm. I think we're just getting used to it right now. Exactly. Exactly. Verbatim. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. How about the Washington Toxic Stallions, Alex? You like that one too? CJ with the new setup.
Trying, bro. Trying, brother. What's going on, Matt? What's good, bro?
But yeah,
But yeah,
just for
what's
the
your thoughts
people
on the
out there,
game?
just for the people out there. Before I get into the game, oh wait, no, I didn't even. Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong league. Hold on, maybe did I beat you this week?
Yeah, bro.
I did.
Yeah, me too.
Oh,
Yeah.
there we go. There we go. Holy crap! Yes, I did. I gave CJ a nice 182.54 to a 121.32 win.
My GM skills are looking terrible this year right now. It's early though. It's early, so I don't wanna be so negative right now, but it's looking bad.
You know, it shouldn't even count, bro. I did have Aaron Jones, so you know what? That you get an excuse. You get an excuse in the league.
Something
Dang,
crazy.
unbelievable.
But now, what's your thoughts on
Oh,
this game though?
that's a tough one too, Alex. Yeah. Listen, this was a very fun game to watch, and I think you're right in a lot of aspects of it. You have the Darius Slayton. This is 2 years in a row where the Giants should win a game against a football team, and they have one of their receivers. You know, obviously last year it was Evan Ingram, so he's a tight end, but drop a pass that ends the game for him. Basically, uh, it's just those little things, and this has to be so demoralizing as a Giants fan. I'm not. Listen, I obviously wouldn't know because well, we're fans of a successful team, CJ. But you have the pass go right through his fingers. You're deflated. Oh darn, whatever. But now Washington gets the football back. They drive down the field. They're in field goal range, and they miss. Heavens, you're all happy.
Right, yeah.
People who bet the money line for the Giants are going crazy. Giants fans through the roof. The football team's down bad, and then there's a flag. And you realize that they have to re-kick it, and you know the minute that flag came out, you knew he was making it. I don't care if that field goal went from 60 yards to 55 yards. You knew the minute that flag was thrown, he was going to make that kick. And that's what ends up happening. And Washington is now 1-1 because of it, and the Giants are 0-2. And I feel like what makes it even more deflating is, CJ, what is the biggest problem with the Giants everybody always talks about, I feel like? That's Daniel Jones and his turnover issues and this, that. That might have been Daniel Jones' best career game ever. Of all, like, ever. That might have been his greatest game of all time. And that's the one you lost. Like, that has to add just an extra little sting to it. He makes up, for last year when he fell on that easy touchdown.
He can move though. I'll say that.
No,
He got some leg.
exactly. It's an underrated aspect by the young man. Daniel Jones is out here moving. He's taking care of the football, making some nice throws. You win the game basically, and then you don't because you jump off sides. Like that's tough. And you're now in an 0-2 hole, and it's not killer. It's really not an absolute death sentence, and it's only because you're in this division.
Right.
Now, it makes your job a lot more difficult, but it's not a killer. So, I mean, at least you can look on the bright side a little bit. Might as well sign Cam, use him as a backup.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if you want those Cam chants happening the minute Daniel Jones starts to struggle, because that's going to happen. Daniel Jones turns the ball over like Nana feeds the turnovers, does it consistently. Well, listen, now, you don't become built like this without some good food. So I'll agree. I will agree. But listen, he didn't do it in that game, and they lost. Do you think that adds a little sting to it for Giants fans, CJ?
Of course, yeah. I was talking to a couple of Giants fans during the week. We were watching the game together, and it was like, "Yo, he played great." For me, the thing is, going forward, Jason Garrett is play calling. I don't understand why they hired him. They saw this guy play with this play calling for over a decade with the Cowboys as an offensive coordinator, then a head coach. We know how conservative his play calling is from an offensive standpoint, to the point where he gave up the play calling, gave it to Kellen Moore before he got fired, and they bring him in for the Giants. I just don't understand. I feel like they could do a lot more RPOs, things of that nature, with Daniel Jones' athleticism. They just haven't been able to do that. I think it's going to be tough to judge him because again, the offensive coordinator is not really that creative when it comes to scheming up plays.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too is you look at Jason Garrett, but I look at the defense as well. Like the defense was a big part of why a lot of people thought the Giants would be successful this year, and me included. And you gave up 30 points to Taylor Heineke and the football team. Like this is not an offensive juggernaut of a team. It's you have two things to do. You stop Terry McLaurin and you bottle up Antonio Gibson, and you should literally never give up a yard to this team. Because if you do those two things, they aren't doing much else. I mean, they're not a super talented offensive team. Curtis Samuel, one of their big offseason signings, he's on IR right now, so it's not like you have to worry about him. Logan Thomas is not having that absolutely crazy year that he had to finish out last year that made fantasy owners fall in love with him. By the way, thank you, Logan Thomas. You probably won me a championship. But it's the defense too. Like, where are you? And here's the other thing too, CJ, because obviously we're Patriot fans, so we get the whole, like discipline, blah, blah, blah. They shove it down your throat, everything like that. And Joe Judge does the same thing. He comes from the Belichick tree. He's always talking about discipline in his press conferences, and you're running laps if you do this, blah, blah, blah. You lost the game because you were undisciplined. That's why you lost the game. So that has to look bad on him as well.
Yeah, it looks bad. But like you said, they still have a shot. That division is competitive. They're 0-2, but everybody else is 1-1. So they're right there for the taking. Yes, it's a divisional loss, which is tough. Yeah, that's exactly what he is too. That's exactly what he is, bro. Just
the clap god, Jason.
Clap god, man. Yeah. I feel bad for Daniel Jones, man. I think he has some talent, but I feel like they haven't really let him be him yet because that type of athleticism, I don't even think scouts or I don't even think the Giants saw when he came out of Duke. So if they're able to let that go a little bit, and then also, of course, Saquon, they're easing Saquon back into the fold. He had that little 40-yard run after that. That was
I'm
pretty
out
much
on
it.
Saquon, by the way.
Yeah, I could, I could see that. I see some people, already talking about trading them and things like that. It's tough. It's tough to really go that far because it's the second game back off the ACL. But you got to ease your way back. You can't just give him 30 rushes, 30 touches. Second game after Taylor's ACL, you got to ease in a little bit. And like we said, the division is going to be there if they could just string along some dubs.
See, here's my problem. And I understand that he's coming back from an injury. But I feel like it's been this way his entire career anyway. He's a 1 yard, 45-yard run, 1 yard. And then you look at the end of the game and he averages, 4.5 yards per carry. You're like, oh, wow, he did so well. And then you really look at it and it was more like 12 yards for 12 carries. And then that 13th carry, it was a 65-yard touchdown. So all of a sudden you think he was actually good.
Yeah, that O-line hasn't been great either.
No, and absolutely, some of the blame does go to the O-line because, listen, you could be the greatest running back in the world. I mean, Barry Sanders in his one playoff game, I think he had literally 1 yard rushing. So it really does depend on your O-line and the scheme that you're going up against. But I don't know. I feel like I'd much rather have a power back type of situation where I can at least get 3 yards a carry. And that actually means 3 yards a carry. That doesn't mean he had those 5 1-yard carries and then a 60-yard run. Like he got, 3 yards, 4 yards, and then 2 yards. Because every situation, you run the ball on first and second down with the Giants and Saquon, you're setting yourself up for third and at least 6 every single time. Every single time. And you can't play behind the sticks like that in an entire game. Put some respect on Saquon. His struggles have been with his bum asshole line like he's had in recent years. Giants offense has been a mess the last few years in general. Listen, that's true. I understand that.
Best play on that offense. I mean, you look at great running backs, right? You think about their line. You think about at least 1 or 2 guys out of the 5 guys up front that you could say are studs. You look at Dallas O-line back when they had, Zach Martin, Frederick, Ty Smith. When you look at those top rushing attacks in the NFL, the Ravens, They got some guys up front as well. Back when they had Marshall Yonder and things like that. You think of those O linemen, you don't really name any giant offensive linemen. You talk about Saquon going off, so it's that give and take. I get you though.
Yeah, like I said, I definitely put some of the blame on his O line, but I don't know. For him to be described as such a great talent all the time, I don't know. You got to at least try to make your O line look better too. I don't know. Make somebody miss in the backfield instead of just running into the pile. That's the other thing too. I feel like he attempts to be Le'Veon Bell sometimes, where it's I'm going to pitter pat, in the backfield right now, and then see if I can get a hole. Well, guess what? The hole isn't there. Maybe the hole is there for 0.1 seconds, but with your little pitter patter in the backfield, you're not going to get it. So I don't know. It's just a whole little different situation. Damian Harris wouldn't fare much better with the Giants. No knock to Harris. Giants' offensive scheme is buns. Connie and CJ could get more out of the offensive unit. Listen, let me tell you something. I'd be a great offensive coordinator, first of all, and I would, second of all, be an absolutely unbelievable lineman, like I was back in my Mighty Mites days. Unbelievable. I was a god. Giants 0-17. Hey, listen, I wouldn't be mad.
That's tough. I don't see that.
I like seeing Giants fans suffer. It's funny.
All right, let's talk about our team, right? Pats and the Jets. Sunday, 1 p.m. game. 2 rookie quarterbacks going at it. Second pick, 15th pick. What's your thoughts on the game? Obviously, we know about Wilson having some struggles. Handing out some lovely gifts, like I put in my story on Sunday, to the Patriot team. What's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, if Sam Darnold was seeing ghosts, I don't know what the hell Zach Wilson was looking at, but that might have been one scary thing. But no, listen, I kind of talked about this in the football group chat. Excuse me. But the Jets are not a good team. Like, the Jets are not a good team, and I don't know what anybody was really kind of expecting. It's a rookie quarterback versus Bill Belichick. This is what happens every single time. Belichick destroys young QB. Chef's kiss on that defensive game plan, Alex. Exactly. I can't really say it any better myself. I think they're like 5-15 or 5-20 in Belichick in the last 20 years. Rookie quarterbacks do not beat Bill Belichick very often. So this was kind of the situation that you knew was going to happen. And I'm also still kind of disappointed in a certain way in the Patriots, because you get 4 interceptions and they went into halftime with, I think, like 17 points. You can't have 4 turnovers and go into halftime barely up in the game. And Zach Wilson looks terrible. I'm not judging him yet. I said this in the football group chat as well. I can't really judge Wilson or Trevor Lawrence until they get an actual team. Like, I feel like the other rookie quarterbacks that got drafted have a chance because they're on actual teams. I mean, you look at Trey Lance, he's on the Niners. They're supposed to be very good this year. You got Justin Fields, he's on the Bears. At least they have Allen Robinson and David Montgomery. Like, they're 2 solid players. Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence have absolutely nobody. But I'll go into the Patriots side of the stuff. What new pass catchers impressed you both on the Pats offense? Aguilar, Smith, Henry?
No, nobody.
Honestly,
nobody yet.
Yeah. I wouldn't say anybody's been super crazy yet.
You say Aguilar, I mean, he got the only passing touchdown of the season. So
I think
receiving touchdown.
I think in the long run, Jonu's going to be the most successful one, because I feel like he has the most ability out in space to do things. I think Aguilar is going to be our deep threat. Hunter Henry is going to be, those short intermediate routes across the field. And then, Jonu's going to do the same thing, but I feel like he has a better opportunity in space. But, now that we're talking about the Patriot offense anyway, that's what I want to get into. It's the fact that, listen, I'm very happy they won. I'm a Patriot fan. They won a game. I'm not really that mad. So I'm not going to sit here and shit on my team even though they won. But Mac Jones is completing like 75% of his passes. They win the game. Woo, everybody's having a good time. He's averaging like 3 yards a pass. At some point, you have to open the offense, because the Patriots this year and last year, we saw it. This is what they're going to do. They're going to run the ball. They're going to try to establish play action, and then they're going to do short little dump offs and try to let their players, gain yardage from that. They're going to do a lot of screen passes to James White. They're going to do those short routes across the middle of the field to Jonnu, Hunter Henry, and Kendrick Bourne. He's been all right, but I mean, I got to see something downfield. I don't even know if the man can do it. What is this, Drew Brees? Can't throw a pass over 15 yards. So while I'm happy they won, me and you had a little conversation on Twitter where I said, the Patriots got to open up this playbook a little bit, and you called him, what'd you call him, CJ? Josh McConservative?
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
I got to see the offense open up a little bit more, because that's when you'll really get a true, look at what the offense can be, because the defense is going to play well. The running game should be pretty good, but I got to see some more stuff downfield, because if you take the running game away from the Patriots, I don't know what they're going to do. You're not going to score touchdowns every possession throwing 3-yard passes. You're going to need it. You're going to need a 25-play drive.
Yeah. That's the only way they could score on 20. 10 to 15-yard play drives. I'll start with the Jets, then I'll follow up with our Pats. Just tough. It's a struggle. Yeah, I mean, first, 3 in the first half. Look, I don't know. I think the first one was just like, okay, that was a tip pass. J.C. Jackson made a great play on the ball, tipped it and then tipped it to himself. That's a lot of focus right there. Watch the go tapes. 100%. I hope.
You can watch all the tape you want. I don't know.
I hope he is, man. I hope he is, but. Wilson needs to watch some go tapes too, right? He was just struggling. Like you said, Bill Belichick, he does a great job of confusing guys. What's going on, brother? What's going on, man? He just does a great job of just confusing young quarterbacks. And just pre-snap, it looks like one thing, and then post-snap, it's another, and then you make the throw, and you think it's there, but it's not. And then you're passing it to the other team, and that's kind of what happened. That's kind of what happened on Sunday. They were able to run the ball. I will say that they were able to move the ball a little bit, get a couple 5-yard carries, pop. That's something that I didn't really like from that New England defense, that front seven. That's what everybody talks about. That's what we had high expectations for before the season. So hopefully that gets cleaned up a little bit. They got some pressure on Mac. Mac got sacked 3 times. Had a couple pressures. He was moving around in the pocket. So their defense looks solid. But obviously it's a revolving door of offensive linemen right now from a New England standpoint. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. It really is. I agree with that. So, the Jets, they, like you said, they don't have a great team. It's just something that you learn. You just got to learn from it. You're going to see Bill one more time at Foxborough. So hopefully they could respond and, play it, keep it competitive in that second game. But, we'll see. But then from New England standpoint, I agree. The offense has to be more dynamic. You have to create some big plays. Yes, you could have those slow, methodical plays, move down the field, get a touchdown here and there. But if it's not, you got deep threats. You got a guy like Jonnu Smith can take it to the crib. He's probably one of the only guys outside of maybe Aguilar that could get yards after the catch. Hunter Henry's more like a third down security blanket type guy. Kendrick Bourne, he can make some splash plays here and there, but they play a lot of 12 personnel, so they got both of those tight ends out there. So it's gonna be tough for him to get a lot of action. So it's tough, but the running game looks solid. I think Damian Harris had a really good game, responding after last week against Miami. Fumbling the rock, putting the ball on the floor. We could have easily won that game and been 2-0. I think he had a great run, one of the runs of the week for sure. It was a nice run, nice little response by him on Sunday. But it was a solid win. McDaniels, I got to put some blame on Mac too. Was it the pressure that the Jets was putting on Mac in those certain times where he checks it down instead of trying to make the big play? Yeah, it's probably some of it has to do with it as well. But there were some plays that he could potentially take the top off the defense. He just didn't do so. You saw him do it in Alabama. So if he just trust himself a little bit, take his time and make some of those big plays, all it's going to do is help that run game. Because then now once you go too high, then you could definitely run the ball and create some mismatches for defenses every Sunday.
Yeah, and the one more thing that kind of scared me a little bit, and then we'll move on to the next game with the Broncos and Jags. But uh, we saw last week with the Jets that they couldn't really protect I was almost said Daniel Jones, Zach Wilson too much, and I feel like the Patriots did not get that much pressure on Zach Wilson this week. Like he threw a lot of those interceptions, but they were heavy coverage interceptions. They were just bad throws, but I feel like he was not pressured as much as I would like to see after everybody on your defense came back and you signed Judon. Like I would have liked to see a lot more pressure on him, considering last week it was like he couldn't even stand in the pocket for more than 5 seconds. But just a little thought. I don't know what you think about that, CJ.
Well, I mean, it's nothing new in New England. When's the last time they had an elite pass rush with Chandler Jones? So
Absolutely.
we're looking at, 4 or 5 years ago. Since we have an elite guy that could say you could definitively say on the D line could get you 10 to 15 sacks. We haven't seen it. They're kind of a by committee guy, kind of contain, make it tough for the quarterback in the pocket, and then rely on that secondary to make a play off an errant throw by the quarterback. So that's kind of they kind of have a bend don't break defensive line. You would like to see one of those guys break out, maybe Barmore in the 3 technique, kind of be kind of that pass rusher guy, something that I'm pretty sure we're going to expect him to be when they drafted him in the second round. So we'll see what happens there, but I'm not surprised.
Yep, and we'll move on from there to the next game on the schedule, Broncos and the Jags. Now, not a game I watched, I'm not going to lie. Watched some of the highlights afterwards, but this was definitely not on my to-do list on Sunday. Plenty of other games out there, but it's looking like the correct situation that Teddy was brought into. He's kind of playing like he usually has. It's the don't make mistakes, let the defense wins you games, and that's what's happening. Trevor Lawrence is obviously still looking for his first win. I think he threw another 2 interceptions in this game. I think he has 5 on the season so far. So it's definitely not. Listen, this is a guy who never lost the game in the regular season from high school. Actually, no, his entire life until week 1 in the NFL. Never lost a regular season game. So it's definitely an adjustment period from going from Clemson and being great in high school clearly to you're on the Jags and you're going to do a lot of losing before you start to win. But yeah, it looks like the right decision so far that the Broncos made starting Teddy over Drew Lock. Matt says here that Teddy 2 gloves was sufficient. And hey, listen, if he's going to play like that, let the defense make its plays. I think that unfortunately Bradley Chubb is a little banged up now. I believe I saw. So that obviously hurts them. But you still got Von Miller over there. You got a solid secondary. So I don't think the Broncos are going to be a huge threat. But hey, you're off to a 2-0 start. You're technically tied for first place in that division. So why not? Have fun. Lawrence breaks and sets records for himself. Will probably have most losses in his career in his rookie season. I mean, hey,
yeah, definitely.
You might not be wrong. Because the Jags are just not a good team. So,
right.
Listen, that's the other thing too. Like we live in such a microwave society. Everybody wants everybody to be good right away. Zach Wilson's not going to be good. Trevor Lawrence isn't going to be good. A lot of these rookie quarterbacks are not going to be good. And guess what? That's okay, guys. That's okay. They're going to survive. Because sometimes you're not great at something the minute you step into it. And some people don't think that the coaching is right. The roster is obviously awful. Some people don't think their front office is very good over in Jacksonville. So let's give everybody some time. Let's not jump down anybody's throat. Let's listen, just enjoy the view. Smell those roses, people.
Yeah, 100%. They're going to struggle. It's the Jaguars. It says it right here. Lost 17 straight games. I mean, what can you say? They're about to be 18 for sure. It's just tough. Yeah. You have to, especially those guys like Connie just mentioned. They were the reason why they got drafted to those teams because those teams weren't good. So you don't expect. The roster around them isn't great, especially for Trevor Lawrence dealing with a head coach who's a all timer in college, but hasn't really been you haven't seen him as an NFL head coach. So it's a new adjustment for him as a head coach now. So it's going to be a lot of adjustments for that team. You can't really expect multiple wins from that division right now. But But I think over time, I think with that division being, it's really not that competitive. It could be up in the air. You don't know what wins. Tannehill's hit or miss. The Texans are the Texans. So they could turn it around quickly. They could definitely be the cream of the crop of that division maybe in a year or two. But I think right now you're going to go through some growing pains. That's going to happen. And since, and then you look at the Broncos, like you said, I'm happy for Teddy. This is the most talented team he's been on from a skill position standpoint. Well, I mean, he had Thielen and Diggs at a certain point, but they weren't where they are now. But right now what they have, and Jerry Judy's out right now. But when he gets back,
wait, did he have both of them?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe he was there. Diggs might have got drafted maybe after Teddy left.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if Diggs was just because of the whole knee situation. I don't know if he was the starter.
Yeah, I don't think he played. No, I don't. Yeah. I don't think he played. But right now, this is definitely the best that he's been playing with right now in terms of skill position. This the best he's had. Last year he had Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, didn't have McCaffrey. So there was going to be an adjustment there. We know how great McCaffrey is from all standpoints of the offensive side. So Melvin Gordon, they got some dogs in the backfield as well. I like that team. I think they look really. They have a great identity. They have the identity to give the Chiefs some problems, give the Raiders some problems, and the Chargers as well. They run the ball. They play defense. Teddy doesn't make mistakes. They have a excellent tight end and Noah Fant. I like this team, man. They look good right now. They play the Giants and the Jags. So how can you really assess that? We'll see what happens when they go up against some more competitive teams, maybe in their division and also in the AFC. If they're the real deal or not. But right now, they got the job done, getting 2 wins under their belt. Got to give credit to Teddy. They made the trade. They got him for a 6th rounder. Took Drew Lock's spot, and he's making the most of it, man. Credit to him.
Yeah, and I think it's good for Teddy. I know. I just looked it up. He was still on the team in 2017. I know that Diggs was drafted in 2015, so they did have 2 years in the same building at least. I didn't look at if they had actually played with each other, but they were in the same building. I can say that. And it's good. It's good for Teddy because even like I said, even looking at it, it's crazy. 2014 to 17, he's on the Vikings. He makes the Pro Bowl in 15, and then it goes from the Vikings to the Jets practice. Like he was on the practice squad of the Jets of all teams.
Right. Exactly.
I mean,
who they had? They had Darnold, right? They had Darnold back then, right?
Yeah, 2018 they must have had Darnold.
Yeah.
Jets practice squad, and then obviously he gets traded to the Saints. Goes there for a little bit. Had that year with the Panthers last year, and now with the Broncos. So I'm all for a Teddy Bridgewater comeback. That injury was gruesome, and for him to even be able to play football again, still very nice to see. So yeah, shout out Teddy. But we'll move on to the Bills and Dolphins, and as you can tell by the final score, I don't think we got to spend too much time on this one. It was not pretty at all. But the Bills bounced back in a very big way. I think, largest shutout win since week 3 of 1992 for the Bills. 35-0 over the Dolphins. And I think the main story coming out of this one is Tua. Josh Allen definitely didn't play that well once again, but listen, we all talked about it. The Dolphins defense is going to be very good this year. Last week, they played the Steelers defense, so he's had pretty hard matchups back-to-back. I'm still very much on the Josh Allen bandwagon. I ain't too worried about my boy. But for the Dolphins, it's what do you do with Tua? I want to know what you do with Tua. I'm very intrigued at what they do because this was his year to prove it. Last year, he's out here getting benched for fits. Tua, I've always thought, and Matt's gonna say Tua turned the ball over, as he always likes to say. Injury prone has begun, and that was my biggest thing with him coming out of college. That I was never a fan of Tua. I just didn't think he would be able to stay healthy, and so far it's kind of looked that way. He had the ankle problems in college. Now he has the rib problem, but Josh Allen has currently blocked on all social media per Adam Schefter. Oh, okay. He was injury prone from college. Yeah. So this was Tua's big prove year. They got weapons. They got Jalen Waddle, Will Fuller, Will Fuller obviously hasn't played yet, but he's on the team. So Jalen Waddle, Will Fuller, Myles Gaskin had that breakout year last year. So Mike Gesicki, this was his big year, and he's hurt already.
Yo, bro, man, I got him on my fantasy team. Sheesh. That's all I can say.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the game is very ugly. I think the story is Tua. Obviously, I still think the Bills are the favorite in that division. Although I do wish it was our boys, but I still got to go with the Bills. But look at this.
Forever, bro.
Hey, we got a Cam to Miami. We got a massage expert Watson to Miami. I mean, hey.
Yeah, that's what I'm scared of, man. I mean, if that whole thing gets cleared up over there, you know what I'm saying, in Texas, and they make that move, bro, yo, Mac better be the next version of Brady, man, because it's gonna be competitive, man.
Oldest starting quarterback in that division is Josh Allen. He's like 25. So
right, yeah,
I don't need
that. Yeah, if they get that figured out over there, and he pulls up to Miami, man. Watch out.
But CJ, I'll leave it to you. Any thoughts on the game? Obviously, like I said, big blowout. I didn't think there was much there, but I thought the big story coming out of it was Tua. You have any different thoughts?
Yeah, Tua, good bounce back by the Bills after losing a tough one to Pittsburgh at home in Week 1. Tua getting hurt, just tough to see, man. I think it's bruised ribs, so we'll see what his status is for Week 3. Yeah, his best ability right now is availability. Has to be able to play, has to be able to be on the field. One to show that he could be the future, and also to show those guys that he could battle with some adversity and still be there to make some plays and still be that leader for them under center. So big, like you said, it's a big year for him. We usually see like 3 years for young quarterbacks, but everything going on right now, certain, like we said with Watson and maybe some other quarterbacks, maybe Garoppolo might be on the move next year too, depending on what happens over there in San Fran. So he's gonna have to show why the Dolphins should trust him for the future. But but for the Bills standpoint, big win for them, divisional win. I don't expect anything less.
Yes, sir. We'll move on from there then. To the 49ers and the Eagles. Oh gosh, damn. Got the phlegm in the throat a little bit. Might have to take a little sip of the water right here. Hold on.
Yeah, I got you on this one. So this was a close game. I think a lot of people expected the 49ers to maybe blow out the Eagles. Maybe people weren't really believing the Eagle hype after they beat Atlanta because Atlanta's just been so decimated on defense over the last few years. So 49ers, what they did to the Lions in Week 1, but the Lions did come back and make it competitive here and there at the end. But I think it was a close game throughout. Hurts played okay, but Garoppolo, I just felt like they just did enough to win the game. Philadelphia, it's a tough place to play, but they got it done. You got to give credit to Jimmy and those guys. And if you're in the NFC West, every win matters. Every win matters. And, they got it done. Doesn't matter what it looks like as long as you get the W. So, Eagles, I think, it was a loss, but, this is a good team. This is a team that was just in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, to only lose by a touchdown with a really, really young offense, I should say. The defense is more experienced, but with the young offense, you would like to see more than 11, but you got to give credit to that San Fran defense. But, close game, something that, Eagles can hang their hat on, clean up for next week. What's your thoughts on the game?
Philly.
Yeah.
I didn't know they ran one.
The thing is, it's like you got a quarterback, right? He's like 6'2", 230. I think some of these coordinators just get sometimes they get too creative. They're just quarterback sneak, man. QB power, get all those guys up front, pushing everybody into the end zone, and then get your 6'2", 230 guy, and then you need 1 yard. Like I just. You want to do a rollout play, and you're going further than to the end zone, further behind the end zone. Doesn't make any sense.
Big fan of the QB sneak.
Yeah, just do QB sneak it, man. I mean, you got a guy that that could definitely break tackles, and he's big, he's physical. Just get those 1 or 2 yards, man. I just don't understand some of these coordinators. Sometimes they try to get too cute and it hurts them. And honestly, that was the difference right there. This difference was 6 points. If they convert that, we could be talking. We could have a whole different discussion right now. Them being the 49ers, that would have been a huge win. But it still didn't work out for them.
Hey, works in Madden. Why can't it work in real life? You know what I mean? No. But yeah, it was a close game for sure. I think the thing that really killed the Eagles' momentum, I think they were up 7-0 or 7-7 in the game, and Hurts had that long pass to Jalen Reagor. Would have been a touchdown. It gets called back for the what's it called? Oh, for the illegal touching because he had stepped out of bounds. Which, by the way, I kind of don't. That rule kind of annoys me. Not because I think they should just be able to run out of bounds and then come back in, but the cornerback was low-key pushing him out of bounds, it looked like. And then he caught the ball. Like, what you want me to do? Because if I run into the cornerback, I'm going to get offensive pass interference anyway. So, like, what am I supposed to do in that situation? Different story, different day. But like you said, any win matters for the 49ers. They're in a division where they can't afford to lose games. This is not the NFC East, which the Eagles are in, where you can start 1-1, 0-2, and you still probably have a 50% chance of winning the division because everybody in it is terrible. The 49ers, we might have gotten it wrong. The division might be even better because I kind of thought that the Cardinals were a lower end team, and now they're 2-0 and look unbelievable. Kyler Murray is in the MVP race through 2 weeks. I mean, through 2 weeks doesn't really matter, but he's there. So 11 points, like you said, not very impressive, but you're playing the 49ers defense. You got some dogs over there. The Eagles offensive line is not known to be one of the best around. I know they had some injuries in that game as well. I know Brandon Graham tore an ACL or an Achilles, I believe, either one. He is out for the season, so that definitely hurts their defense. But a 17-11 game for an Eagle team that's coming up against a team that was just in the Super Bowl, like you said, not bad. And listen, we talk about the Eagles being held to 11, but let's talk about the Eagle defense holding the 49ers to 17. Now, are they some offensive juggernaut? No, absolutely not. But what's their coach known for? It's offense and being able to get the most out of their team. So
they have no running backs. People talk about the Ravens. Yeah.
The 49ers can't catch a break. They got to start playing in bubble wrap.
Yeah, bro.
They got to start playing flag football because every single person on their team gets injured every year. Like, you can say the 49ers are going to be the best team ever, and then all of a sudden, week 1, they have 17 players on IR, and they go 0-14.
Yeah, that's tough. That's exactly. But that's the beauty of Shanahan's offense is it really doesn't matter who you put in the backfield. They're still going to get it done. His run plays are so creative. They had Elijah Mitchell get 100. Moser gets 100. Doesn't matter who's back there. They just seem to find a way to always get 5 yards of carry. And look, at the end of the game, whoever they have, they all get 90 to 100 yards. So that just speaks to the scheme. He's a great coach. But yeah, if they could get a true bell cow back there, Trey Sermon, that rookie got hurt too. They get a true bell cow back there. It could be scary. Yeah, he also got hurt in the game. Yeah, it could be scary for any team out there. They could get a real great, excellent running back.
CJ, me and Josh on Gen Z do a QB prayer circle each week, and this year we determined that Zach Wilson was going to be our guy. Last year it was Joe Burrow. It didn't work out for us because he ends up getting hurt. But CJ, me and you might have to start a prayer circle for the 49ers. We might just have to. I mean, this is just unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. Yeah. Because going into the year, you're like, nah, they can't get hurt again. They were hurt last year and the year before and the year before. Like, it can't happen 4 years in a row. And here we are. Like, it's just unbelievable. Oh, look at this. Eagles might be as bad as CJ's fantasy football managing skills. That's foul.
Hey, bro, I don't play the games. I don't play the games, man. I don't play the games.
You can only draft. You can only draft, CJ.
I don't play the games. That's it. All I can do is draft. They don't step up. That's it.
Listen, this is what I always like to say. It's never my fault. It's usually the equipment. And in this case, the players are the equipment. It's never my fault. I'm fantastic. But, other things don't go my way. But we'll move on from there to the Rams and Colts. Another good game. And the Rams, kind of squeaked this one out. It was looking like they were going to run away with the game for a little bit. Colts came powering back. 27-24, the Rams squeaked that one out. And, once again, a story in this one. Carson Wentz, man.
Your guy.
Mr. Wentz-Annapolis. I mean, it's killing me. Hey, those NYC sirens, baby.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
No, that goes, man. Shout out my guy, Vic, brother. No, that goes.
But yeah, Carson Wentz not sprained his ankle, but not one, but both of them. How do you even sprain both ankles? I've never even seen something like that. How does that happen?
Dude is made of glass.
Nah, he's like the character off SpongeBob. He really is. Every day I wake up, I break my legs, and every time I breathe, my lungs collapse, and it's just unbelievable. But listen, the story. This is another story. It's the Rams, and they started off 2-0, and like we just said about the 49ers, every win counts in this division because you're in a very good one. And to me, this seems like a game that they would have lost with Jared Goff. Like, I don't know why. I don't really have an explanation for it. I don't. But this seems like a game they lose with Jared Goff. And I think Matt Stafford really is going to take him to the next level. Me and Josh talked about it yesterday. Who's the biggest threat to the Bucs? And I think it is the Rams just because they have that quarterback now. You can see with Sean McVay, this man is thrilled to have Matt Stafford. And you know who else is thrilled? Cooper Kupp. Because Cooper Kupp goddamn looks like Randy Moss in 2007 right now. I think Matt Stafford is like 12 of 26 thrown to him, has like 400 something yards and 3 touchdowns in 2 weeks. He had 3 touchdowns all of last year. So Matthew Stafford has found his man. Let me tell you, if you got him in fantasy, you're happy. Like your boy does. So
Yeah.
A good game out of the Rams. The Colts story, obviously, they had the chance at the end of the game, but Jacob Eason has to come in, and I believe on like his first throw, he throws an interception that ends the game. But CJ, what'd you have?
I said that dude's made of glass, man. I think sometimes he just does too much, and it just puts him in predicament. I get it, right? You want to make plays, you want to show the team, I'm tough. I can do this. I can get those extra yards. I could break, Aaron Donald, a tackle from Aaron Donald, and do all this. But sometimes you got to settle it down, especially for his injury history and everything that's occurred with him. Just not being able to stay healthy. I think the Colts would rather him, slide, take the 4 to 5 yards, run out of bounds, live to see another play, be methodical. It's not like you have a terrible team around you where you have to make every single play, every single down. You just has to slow it down a little bit. That division is still, they're 0-2, but no one's really, counting them out right now because that division isn't very good. So, they just have to. He has to settle in. Hopefully, he can stay healthy. He can get those ankles healthy. Like, you sprain both ankles. When you gotta say the plural, it's crazy. And then when I saw the tweet, I was just like, both ankles? All right. And then no way.
So Wentz-Annapolis, baby.
No way, man. So he has to figure it out. It's not like the O-line is terrible. They have a really good O-line. They got Q-Dog in there at guard. They have some other really good guys in that front. Got to continue to run the ball. It was close. They could have easily won this game, and then he goes down. And like you said, Eason comes in, and I think looking at that play, he could have easily obviously playing Tuesday morning quarterback. You had the check down right there, but through wanted to make a big play, and Jalen Ramsey, with the dagger, and sent them home and waved goodbye to the Colts fans at Lucas Oil. So, it's definitely a tough loss for Indy, but if Wentz could get healthy and he could just settle down a little bit and just not try to do everything on every play, then they'll be fine.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think the Colts would be happy if he never even left the pocket in the first place, honestly.
No, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to make a joke. I was going to say, then again, even if he didn't leave the pocket, I'm sure that somehow shuffling around, he would sprain another ankle. So you never know how it goes.
Yeah, it's tough, bro. He reminds me of that you remember the bench warmers? Remember that movie?
Yeah, hell
Yeah,
yeah.
that's when he's out there, bro. That's every time I think about that movie, bro. Because it's just he's stay. Hopefully, I just want him to stay healthy, man. But and then just quick point for the Rams. You kind of hit on everything, but to me, they're definitely the only threat in the NFC. Well, I mean, you got to. I mean, you can't kind of Aaron Rodgers, but I would say from a complete team standpoint, I think the Rams definitely they could give the Bucs some problems because they have two of the best players at their position on defense on that defensive side of the ball. I mean, you got a pass rusher that could get the time, and you got a great corner that could confuse Tom on the back end. And that's if you hit on everything, you do the right thing. That could be a success recipe for success. So Stafford's gonna have to do his part as well on that offensive side because you got the GOAT on that side, but they're definitely the top threat for Tampa Bay right now. But this, like you said, they got to be able to. There's some threats in their own division they got to handle first. So, but good start.
And you want to talk about a good start? Let's move on to the next game with the Raiders and the Steelers. Yeah, listen, this is one of the early season storylines here. Has John Gruden finally figured out the Raiders? And, CJ, I'm gonna let you jump in on this first because I'm curious. The Raiders for real? Just your overall thoughts on the game, of course. But Raiders looking good with that 2-0 start, huh?
Yeah, Vegas, they look good. They started off good last year, and then they kind of, spiraled out of control, and it became inconsistent. I like their team, and I have some solid pieces. I always thought Derek Carr was good, but granted, he was great on TV. But
no, they need to bring my son Gruden back. I'm sorry. I know you're making bread being a coach, yeah. Gruden. ESPN, double the salary. I know y'all got it.
Yeah, but they look good right now. I want to see them against the Chiefs. I want to see them against the Chargers and the Broncos too. Like you said, you give the Broncos some praise in the beginning of the show. I want to see how they play against those teams and some of those other top teams in the AFC. The Ravens are definitely a top team, and the Steelers were there in the playoffs last year. So good wins. Good wins. We just still like to see a little bit more consistency from them throughout the season before I can say they're a real contender. But they look good. Carr definitely MVP candidate. And for the Steelers, everything we said to start the season. The O-line hasn't been great. They haven't really been able to get Najee Harris going with the run game. 30 yards on 10 carries.
The Raiders not good because the mob is involved now. We got some Sopranos action going on. Man. Raiders greater than the Chiefs.
Stop it. Not gonna go that far. It's super hot take. But the Steelers, that's their identity. Their identity is really running the football, being physical. You look at the success they've had for their entire franchise. Even when Big Ben was playing great, even when Big Ben was throwing the AB, all those, they still had Le'Veon Bell running the football, being the best running back in the league at that time. So, they have to get back to that. They have to fix that offensive line, and they have to get back to playing some physical football because the Browns and the Ravens, they play that way. They run the football. They know their identity. They're going to be physical. So you can't have Big Ben at this stage of his career throwing the ball 40 times is not going to get you a W.
No, it is not. This has been a good start from Derek Carr, and I feel like I've always been a little bit higher on Derek Carr than most people have. I might be higher on Derek Carr than his own coach is, because you still can't really find Gruden really praising Mr. Derek Carr too much. So I need we got a comment here with Big Ben need to hang it up.
It was good, bro.
I don't disagree. Big Ben, it might be clips for me, my guy. But, back to Derek Carr. He's looked good. The Raiders' offense has looked pretty good so far. Their defense has looked a lot better than I thought it would through 2 games. Obviously, they only gave up 17 points to the Steelers, and now, like I've said many times in the show, this is not technically an offensive juggernaut of a team. But, hey, 17 points against an NFL team is 17 points. It's an impressive way. And like you said, they have to get the run game going somehow. Like, I don't know what they got to do. What's good, bro?
TJ was good, bro. It's good, man.
He said, "Let's go Eagles QB1." Hey, you missed it. We talked about it. Don't you
Right,
worry. You
right.
got listen to the pod though. Apple
Thanks.
Podcasts, YouTube, everywhere available. Just saying, Spotify. But with that being said, the Raiders have looked good so far. And listen, for the Steelers, you drafted Najee Harris for a reason. Like, you know that you have to get back to running the ball because, like you said, Big Ben throwing it a bunch of times during the game. I'm good. Especially with Deontay Johnson, he's out now. So Juju's kind of back to his number one role, and we saw how that kind of went for a little bit. Obviously, they still have Claypool. Sorry at work late lock in, but I'm here tuned in. Hell yeah, we love that. That plug though, yeah. But yeah, so I like what I'm seeing from the Raiders. The Steelers, the big story out of this one too is T.J. Watt being hurt. He was out all of training camp. He didn't play in the preseason when they had all the contract issues, and he was fine in week 1, but not playing catches up with you eventually. And in week 2, it's the hamstring, a little tight. So you obviously hope it's nothing serious because you don't want you want players like T.J. Watt to be on the field. It's just more fun to watch football when the better players are on the field. So you hope it's not anything serious, but not playing sometimes does catch up with you. And this seems to be a situation where if he was in. Maybe he's playing a little bit more, but I think that's all we got for that game. CJ, we'll move on.
Yeah, let's move on to the Bengals and the Bears. Game was close, pretty much throughout the entire game. Dalton, was pretty solid. It's really solid in the first 2 quarters. Of course, absolutely. Dalton was pretty solid in the first few quarters, and then he got hurt, went down with the knee, came back, and then got hurt again. I just felt like he wasn't able to go. And then Fields comes in there, makes some solid plays. Nothing crazy. Had a big run, to extend the drive. But that defense made some big time plays. Burrow, 3 interceptions in a row on drives. That was something I definitely didn't expect. Roquan Smith made a big time play, taking it to the crib. Got to give credit to Chicago and that defense, man. They did a great job holding up that Bengals offense, who's been could be pretty dynamic with the offensive weapons that they have. And we know Burrow is special young QB, being able to get into those guys. So Bears, they came out, played well. What do you think's going to happen? Still suck. Bias. What do you think is going to happen? You think is this the time for Fields to come in there? Or you think they try to see what happens with Dalton and they bring him back?
They came out and said that if Dalton is healthy, he's going to be the quarterback. And listen, I know Bears fans are all mad about it. Some people are going to disagree. I don't hate it. Like, I'm not – listen, like I said, is it really that bad that we're going to give a rookie quarterback time to learn the NFL speed and everything like that? It's funny. He came in the preseason was like, yeah, the NFL is a lot slower than I thought. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it looked a hell of a lot different on Sunday when it was, actual people playing and the game actually meant something. Because if you look at it, Dalton actually produced better in that game on his limited drives than Fields did on his 5 or 8, whatever he had in that game. So, sometimes you're not ready. And the Bears are not a good team, so I understand the point where, well, if we're not a good team, we should play Fields and, see what we have. Or you're not a good team, you're not going to win anyway. Let your quarterback learn and not get killed because, you look at their schedule and the people that they're playing, Fields is not in for a good time. This is not a happy dandy schedule by any means. Just looking at some of the games that they have upcoming, if I can find it. Oh, look at this. ESPN making me click on things. Look at this. They're trying to get me to subscribe to Apple Music right now on the show. Unbelievable. I didn't even click on nothing. But let's see. Let's try to find the Bears. Oh, here we go. Let's look at the Bears' upcoming schedule. So they play the Browns. Do I really feel like putting Justin Fields in versus Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney? Then they play the Lions. Okay, that's easier, of course. Then they play the Raiders. Their
Yes.
defense has been pretty solid, though.
Yeah, the Lions is what I said is when he might come in there. The Lions game, because again, both teams aren't great. Let's see what you got. Yeah, go ahead.
And then they play the Raiders. Okay, whatever. Then they play the Packers. So those 3 games, I guess that's a fine spot. And that's a little 3-game stretch you could see. But here's the thing. That's not the end of the season. Then they play the Bucs, the 49ers, the Steelers, the Ravens. Then they play the Lions again, but then they play the Cardinals. They have to play the Vikings. They have to play the Seahawks. Like, they have to play some teams where Fields is going to get killed. And I don't know if you really want to put him in there. Listen, if he gets hurt, your franchise is screwed. If Dalton gets hurt, listen, I know you don't want to get anybody hurt, but you don't really care. Dalton means absolutely nothing to you. 0. If Fields gets hurt, what happens if Fields, God forbid, does something to his knee, and then now it's, we have Dalton for this year, and we need another quarterback for next year too, because now our franchise can't play. And listen, you can get hurt at any time, and I'm not saying that you have to leave Justin Fields on the bench for the next 5 years until you have the number 1 rated offensive line and 6 number 1 wide receivers on your team. But taking it slow sometimes does not kill you. It's really not the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I agree for sure. It's tricky. It's tricky, man. Like you said, they're not good, but then you also want to see what you have, and you don't want to feel like it's a year wasted. But I understand your point, and I was kind of saying the same thing. I'm like, what's the rush? I mean, they're not going to be really good this year. Allen Robinson on the franchise tag, he may not even be there next year. If they're able to pay him, give him some long-term money. I think it's just you just want to see him out there. You want to see him play. Obviously, the fans, they want to see him play. You want to see him out there make plays. Sometimes with his mobility, I think his ability to move out the pocket to kind of mask some of the deficiencies of the offensive line. So that could help. And he could make some plays. He could throw the ball down the field a little farther than Doyle right now. So you could get guys like Mooney. Hopefully, when Tariq Cohen comes back, it could definitely help him as well. So I think, I agree. I feel like you just stay patient with it. Have him continue to learn, get those mental reps, continue to prepare like the starter, but not really be the starter. I think it's going to help him in the long run, man. Everybody's not going to have a Justin Herbert type of year. Everybody's path to being, like you said earlier, everybody's path to being great is going to be different. And, this definitely could be it. There's no rush. It's not like, it's just Rodgers in that division. And, who knows what happens? Who knows what happens next year? You may not even be there. So, and then you got the line, and then you got Kirk Cousins and Goff. So it's really, they're really not in any really true rush to, be competitive right away. So, yeah, I support Nagy's decision. Stay a little bit patient, just have him continue to learn. And then when he's ready, when it's time, they'll know when it's time, and they can make that call.
For sure. No, you ain't getting any arguments from me. But we'll move on to another game that is definitely not on my watch list, CJ. I'll let you take that one away.
Texans, Browns. Hey, listen, man, Tyrod, I feel for Tyrod, bro. I mean,
you gotta feel for Tyrod.
It was competitive. It was 14 up. He was moving down the field on the Browns in Cleveland. He has a little bit of motivation. He played. Didn't play great in Cleveland. Hugh Jackson gave him the hook to put, and that's how the Baker Mayfield story started, and Cleveland. So it was a little bit of extra for that game for him, and then he goes down with the hamstring. Hamstrings are really tricky. It could be 2 weeks, it could be longer than that. You just don't know because you're not really able to do too much on it right now. And he was playing really good. He was playing really good, man. And Philip Lindsay. They have some solid pieces over there. Brandon Cooks, they have some solid pieces over there on that offense.
Brandon Cooks, most disrespected receiver in the NFL, by the way.
Yeah. He doesn't get the love. But he's good. He's good. He definitely makes some big time catches, makes some big time plays. And they were looking pretty good. They were looking pretty good to start the game. And then Tyrod goes down, and they bring Davis Mills in, and they struggle. And Baker gets it going. Baker threw a pick, and for me, Like I get trying to make the tackle because you're upset about the interception, but just lay it down, bro. Lay it down, man. Just lay it down. You're the franchise. You know, if you separate your shoulder or you tear your labrum, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So, I mean, I understand, you know, trying to make the tackle. You know, you was upset about the interception, but live like again, same thing with Wentz, man. Live to see another play. Live to see another play, man. But you know, fortunately, he came back in the game, make some big time plays. They had some running backs going. Chubb and Hunt didn't play that well. I'm forgetting the guy's name that had a great game. I'm forgetting his last name. He played great. Had a screen, took it to the crib. It was a good game. You know, I think some bettors were probably a little bit scared in the beginning of the game because I think they were favored like 11.5 or something like that. But they managed to only win by 10. I want to see Baker do a little bit more, but you know he doesn't have his number one wide receiver right now. Landry going down was a big time loss, spraining his MCL. Again, fantasy loss. I mean, I'm just oh man.
Oh no, you had it too.
It's looking rough. I might just call it. You know what I'm saying? I might just call it, bro.
I have to make a trade real quick. Hit my line, you know?
Nah, man. It's looking rough out over here, man. For the Belichick this time, it's looking bad. But yeah, so that's a big loss for more important big loss for Cleveland, losing Landry, losing their guy underneath, and doing things like that. And then hopefully Odell could come back and make those splash plays again, man. They're going to need him to do that. But yeah, you know, big win by the Browns. Needed win because this could have been one of those sneaky type games where you sleep on the Texans and you take an L, but they didn't let it happen.
Yeah, like you said, it was weird. I was looking at this game and all of a sudden it's 14-14. I was like, what's going on? But the Browns did what I expected them to do. They pulled away at the end there. Obviously got a lot easier when Tyrod went out. And, man, you really do have to feel for him. You're right.
Gets stabbed in the lung last year. Like.
Gets run out of Buffalo. Goes to the Browns. Gets hurt for literally like 5 minutes. Gets put in for Baker. Goes to the Chargers. Gets stabbed in the lung. Goes to the Texans. And now he, you know, what was it, his hamstring?
Hamstring, yeah.
I mean, give the guy a break. Like, we let him be all right. Just one time in his career, man. Come on, son. But yeah, I mean, the Browns did what they have to do to win this game. Nothing too important to me. I said this in the group chat. I've gotten heat for it. Don't really care. Listen, a win against the Texans, the Texans, Jets, Jags, Falcons, and I had one more team in there. I can't remember what it was.
I thought Detroit in there.
Yes, it was Detroit, actually. Mean nothing to me. Zero. Nada. If you beat them, congratulations, you were supposed to. If you lose to them, now we're talking about something.
Right.
Because, like, how the hell do you lose to one of those teams? But you beat them, I am not giving you flowers. Don't care. Didn't ask. I'm sorry. But they just don't mean too much to me. But congratulations, Browns. You're 1-1 now. What are they? Tied for the division lead? Like everybody else is? We don't have too many undefeated teams this year. Not too many. But we do have one undefeated team that I know of right now that we're going to talk about, and that would be the Panthers. Look at Mr. Sam Darnold off to a 2-0 start for the first time in his career. I mean, not that you should really be surprised. Because, well, I mean, he's not on the Jets anymore.
Right.
I mean, I meant for the first time part, not the 2-0 part.
Okay.
You shouldn't be surprised that he's never been 2-0. I mean, he was on the Jets with Adam Gase. I don't think if the Lord himself came down from the heavens, he could have went 2-0 with Adam Gase. I mean, it was that bad. That man was the devil reincarnated for the Jets. But yeah, he's looking pretty good, man. He really is. You know, like I said, I was not a big Sam guy, and I think the transformation of Sam Darnold, yes, it's the third week of the season coming up, so I'm not going to get crazy about it. I'm not going to say he's some great quarterback now, but from what he was in New York to what he is in Carolina, he's already better, and it's clear, very obvious. And I think that for me just drove home the point of how important coaching really is and how, you know, roster construction really is. Because, you know, you kind of hear sometimes that we don't speak his name. Listen, I know. I'm sorry about Gase. I'm sorry. Listen, when
Sheesh.
Peyton
Hey,
Manning
yo,
called
Vic,
up
man.
the
Hey, yo,
Peyton
Vic, I'm
Manning
sorry,
called up
bro.
the Peyton Manning called up the Johnsons and said, "Yo, you got to hire him," and they did, and it didn't go so well. Don't listen to Peyton Manning, apparently. I love how that was the thing too that got Gase hired. Like, oh, he was good with Peyton Manning. Congratulations. So would I be. Like, all I got to do is say, Peyton, go throw the ball to somebody that you think is open. Like, what are we talking about here? But anyway, Sam is looking pretty good, and you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy that Jameis didn't look good, because if I got to hear that Jameis is actually a good quarterback, I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, Caleb would have been. Woo.
I'm losing my mind. Jameis is not good. Listen, this is what happened. Did everybody forget that he had games like last week in Tampa Bay? He had games where he looked great. It was just the fact that the next week he would come out and do the complete opposite of it. So you should not really be that surprised. But who am I? Who am I? You know, their offense is running through CMC, which your boy loves because I had the first overall pick and took CMC. So the offense is running through him. The defense is looking very good. I think they held Kamara like 17 total yards, not rushing yards, like total. So that is very impressive in itself. But CJ, what'd you think?
The Panthers, man, they look solid right now. They look solid right now. Uh, Got to give Matt Rule a lot of credit. Defensive minded head coach, like you said, what they did with Kamara on Sunday was masterful, masterful. Shaq Thompson, Brian Burns, Jeremy Chin, those guys on that side of the football. Got to give them a lot of credit. Got to give Matt Rule a lot of credit, man. Sam Darnold, I think what they're doing with him right now is, they're just telling him, kind of just be the manager, and then when we need you to make those splash plays, go out there and make those splash plays. I think that's what he needs. That's what he needs right now. Really didn't have great, like you said, didn't really have great coaching in New York, and I think now coming to Carolina, having Joe Brady in his ear, just calming him down, giving him some plays that are easy for him, and of course it's going to help when you got Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. Being able to be such dominant between the tackles and catching the football out the backfield. One of the best offensive weapons, offensive players in the league. So that's always going to be a plus. Robbie Anderson, he has great chemistry with him back in their time in New York. DJ Moore, reliable guy, and can make plays. So, they look good right now, man. They look good. They look like, the team that could, potentially maybe be in the hunt for a playoff team right now. It's still very early. We'll see how they play against some of these top dogs in the NFC. When they see Tampa Bay, when they see the Rams, when they see teams like that, we're going to see how they play. We're going to see if Darnold can step up to the plate and it makes some of those big time plays for them to get those dubs. But right now, it looks good for the Saints. Yeah, like you said, Jameis, hot and cold, hit or miss. Had a really good game against the Packers on that Sunday night game, and then against the Panthers, we're about to get to that.
Yeah, we better get to that.
And the Panthers, against the Panthers, just didn't look too great. But again, got to give credit to Matt Rule. Great job, scheming up, making it tough for Jameis, showing him some different things. Hopefully, Jameis can play like that for one more week. We just need one more week out of like that, Jameis, to go up against the Patriots. So, if you could just play like that one more time, good brother, and then the rest of the season. Rest of the season, you can ball out, bro.
He said, "One more time, good brother."
One time, man. We just need one more games, man. It's been hot, cold. We just need one of the cold games one more time on Sunday, Foxborough, and it's all good from there, bro.
And then hell, after that, I don't care if you win the MVP, James.
Yeah, you did. Listen, it's one more solid for me, man. That's it. One of them INTs to the crib. That's all we need, bro.
All right, CJ, take me into the next game, brother.
Wow, what a game this was, right? So, Arizona, you kind of alluded to it earlier in the episode, making some plays, man, making some moves. Kyler Murray looks excellent. Young Russell Wilson, but faster, more agile. He's just lethal, right? And he's really 5'9", bro. He's 5'9". You look at him out there like People try to say 5'10", this and that. He's out there balling. I mean, they're in the shotgun every play. You know they're going to be in the shotgun every single play, but they were just dominant. And the Vikings, they're a good team, but they just can't always put it all together throughout a game sometimes, and throughout the season. I don't know what that is. Giving up 34 points definitely is not a formula for success. Since Mike Zimmer being a defensive-minded head coach, so you would expect them to, definitely be more stout on that side of the football. Really hasn't been that way over the last few years for Mike Zimmer. Goes down to the wire, they come back, and I think the kicker is Craig Joseph or something. I believe that's his name. Just missed Gus Johnson on the call, keeps a lead. That was a nice little combo. Hearing that, Gus Johnson, legend. Always gets people hype.
CJ,
Shout out like Fritz. Man.
I have decided I'm trying to start a petition that Gus Johnson has to do every sporting event he can humanly possibly do. I'm just saying. I've decided that.
Yeah, I remember he was in Madden. He was in Madden 08. Those were the good times. CJ, don't ever put the Vikings and good in the same sentence. I mean, they have good moments. They have good moments. They have really good players. They just can't. It just seems to never always come together at the right time. And Sunday was definitely a testament to that. What was your thoughts on the game, bro?
Yeah, crazy game. Like you said, I kind of had this one on in my peripheral vision, but a very good game to say the least. Kyler, listen, like I said, in the early running for the MVP award, it looks like. I think he has 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, but that doesn't include his rushing touchdowns, which I think he has 2 of on the season so far. His passer rating in these games have been very good. I'm not into all the QBR and all that stupid stuff. Like, first of all, if I don't know how it's even calculated, I don't care about the stat. So I'm not really into that. But like you said, it's weird. Mike Zimmer, defensive coach. They have some solid pieces. They got Harrison Smith over there. They have Daniil Hunter, who's a great pass rusher and everything. And they can't play defense. And I don't know what happened because, again, correct me if I'm wrong, 4 years ago, this was a great defense. Like, it changed real quick because now you look at the moment or you look at the team now. I was reading the comment. That's why I said moment. The last good moment I know the Vikings had was when Moss went there. And listen,
It's some Adrian Peterson.
Yeah. They had that missed field goal, Blair Walsh against the Seahawks. Still can't believe that.
Oh, man, I forgot about that, bro.
My boy's a Vikings fan for some unknown reason. I was at the crib when that game was happening with him. We were like, oh, they're going to win. It didn't happen. Did not happen. But, they have offensive talent. You look at their team. Dalvin Cook is a top 5 running back. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, who I have started another campaign for him to not be one of the most underrated players in the league. The man is a consistent animal, and nobody cares about him. Unbelievable. But they just can't play defense all of a sudden, and that's what kills them. But, hey, I don't know. I might be wrong about the Cardinals. I had them last in their division, and I say this with the caveat of I had them last in the division because it's so good that I just didn't know. Because I've said this before. If you put them in another division, I think I would pick them to win almost every division in the league. But they're just in the wrong division. But, hey, maybe they're not because they look really, really good so far. Like, yeah, they gave up 33 points to the Vikings. But like I just said, you might think of the Vikings and think of defense, but you shouldn't anymore. You should think of their offense. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook. I mean, they got some dudes over there. Like, they can put up points in a hurry. And just because it's the Vikings, don't get it twisted. So it was a very entertaining game. Like I said, had it in the peripheral vision a little bit. But towards that end of the game, I definitely put it in focus and definitely tuned into those highlights. I definitely did. But with that being said, we'll move on once again to the God, the GOAT himself, Mr. Tom Brady. CJ, we're running long here, so I don't think I got too much to say about this game other than everybody wants to do it for LeBron, so I'm gonna do it for Brady this year. I've decided it's year 22. Every single week, I'm just going to put year 22. Everybody likes to put year 17 for LeBron. I'm putting year 22 for Brady every time. Leading the league in passing touchdowns. End the conversation. CJ, if you have anything on the game, go ahead. But I'm done. Brady, God, goated. Four touchdown passes, and the defense had 2 pick sixes. Listen, this team might be better than last year when they won the Super Bowl. That shouldn't be possible, but it might be true.
Yeah, yeah, dude, you're right. They are just because chemistry. They're more comfortable with each other right now. They know what plays to call that are going to be successful. Then that's Brady and the coordinators, defensive coordinators and offensive, and Brian Leftwich. They're really in sync right now. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great one. Can't wait
for that game.
Can't wait, bro.
And he's going to break the passing record touchdown or the passing yard record in New England probably. I think he's only like 500 yards away, and he's averaging like 325 a game.
Yeah, that'll be insane. But I mean, what can you say? What can you say about the guy? I mean, it's just it's a little bit of pain. Every time he goes out there, especially him and Gronk, it's like double pain. Just their connection is. It's the best connection ever. Best quarterback, receiver, whatever you want to consider, Gronk, a tight end receiver ever, period. It's just too elite. It's too elite. And then you can't double Gronk anymore, so he's just getting easy one-on-ones against little babies out there, safeties and linebackers, and he's just bodying them. And then, Brady knows where to put the ball, and, Gronk's going to go get that. And Mike Evans finally got on the board. Thank you, brother, because that first game against the Cowboys was
killed me in fantasy, bro.
So, yeah, exactly. Facts over here, too. So, now, got 2 tutties. And then for Atlanta, real quick,
dog water.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's gonna come to a time where Arthur Blank is just gonna be like, it's time to change the regime up, trying to get a new quarterback and start this thing over.
Nowhere will be safe from Brady's wrath. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. But yeah, like you said, Falcons, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's tough, bro. I mean, it was close. It was 28-25, and I was like, yo, they're doing all right. And then back-to-back pick sixes, GGs.
It's a tough
I turned the game back on. It was 48-25. I was like, oh man, all right.
It's a tough one.
I was like, all right, man, okay.
He said, "Don't disrespect dog water with the Atlanta Falcons."
Sheesh. Oh man, Titans and the Seahawks. Man, I thought this game was over. I thought this game was a wrap.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was a wrap, and then second half comes around, King Henry.
Yo, listen, CJ, you remember that rant that coach had? If you want to crown them, crown their asses. Well, guess what? King Henry's crowned him. He crowned him.
The dude is something special, bro. I mean, he's a throwback. It's not something that you really see in today's NFL. Nowadays, you see 2 running backs. Each team have 2 running backs now, a power back and then a change of pace guy. He's just going there. You know what they're gonna do. They're gonna load up the box. He gets one alley and he could take it 90 yards. We see him take it 99 yards. I was looking at his screenshot in high school, bro. Have you seen that little screenshot, bro? I mean, what is that, bro? Like, what is that? Like, so it's just the dude's insane, man. The dude's insane, and he's literally carrying the team. Now, even though they got Julio Jones and AJ Brown, he's really got the team on his back, and he killer, bro, killer, man. And the Seahawks, they folded this one. This was an easy dub for them. Russell Wilson was looking great. Him and Tyler Lockett, shout out Lockett, man, big time fantasy pickup. You said Thielen. I forgot you said somebody Cooper Kupp. You got to throw Lockett, and he's probably number 1 on that underrated list right there. So. He makes big time plays every single Sunday, it seems like, since he's been in the league. So he's a big time player, but unfortunately they weren't able to get the dub. Some of the play calling in that overtime was a little questionable. They were backed up on their own like 10 or something like that, and they did like 3 straight plays, deep plays. Would like to see them run ball a little bit more, but Tennessee did their thing. It was a big time win for them. Got to give them credit.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, there's not much more to take out of this game than Derrick Henry. Listen, don't sell him yet. Don't sell me. I know the first, of course, it's overreaction. Uh, First week of the season, it was, oh, what happened to Derrick Henry? He fell off already. Yeah, okay.
After 1 week,
Came back, 41 touches, 237 scrimmage yards, 3 touchdowns. He is literally the reason they won the game. And a little caveat to that, you realize what he did in this game? He did that without his two starting offensive linemen. Like, two starting offensive linemen were out of this game. Taylor Lewan didn't even play, and I don't know if the other one didn't play at all or got hurt, but I know Taylor Lewan during warm-ups couldn't go. So he did all that without uh, his starting two linemen, which makes it even more impressive. The Titans are the sleepers of the league. I got to see a little bit more, because if you take away Henry, which is a lot harder than just speaking it, but if you do take away Henry, I don't know how confident I am, and I'm not a big fan of their defense. But listen, if King Henry going to keep playing like this, it don't matter. Nothing else really matters, because I mean, you're going to keep teams off the field.
right?
Nobody's going to get the ball, so it doesn't really matter. But like you said, Russell Wilson to Tyler Lockett. If you can find, I will give anybody right now, $400 cash money. If you can find a better deep ball thrower in the league right now than Russell Wilson, go ahead. I'll sit here all night.
Yeah, he's definitely, I mean, Kyler, that one he threw to Kirk was pretty good, man.
Skimmed over the top of his beam.
Yeah, that
right
one
in the hands.
Yeah, as I said, I mean,
here's the thing. That was impressive. That's what Russ does like 4 times a game.
Right, yeah, for sure.
So Russ is just a different animal when it comes to those type of throws. But yeah, a great game. Listen, there have been some very good games in the NFL this year. We're being absolutely treated as fans, and let me tell you, I am not mad about it. But we'll move on from there to something I'm a little upset about, but I'm not upset about at the same time, is the Cowboys actually winning against the Chargers. Now, here's the thing. I'm upset about this, CJ, because the Cowboys won. And while when Cowboy fans are sad, it makes me very, very happy. But I'm not that mad about it, because I picked the Cowboys to win. Josh picked the Chargers to win, so I gained the game on him in our Pick'em segment. So it kind of made up for it. Greg Zuerlein, 56-yard game-winning field goal as it expired. He needed that one after last week against the Bucs, where he kind of cost them the game. I said in the group chat during the game that Dak wasn't playing very well. I kind of take it back in a way. He only had like 200 yards, I believe, threw an interception, but he was being just very conservative because that's what the defense was giving him. I think Zeke scored a touchdown in this game, so you would like to see them get him going a little bit more. But this was a battle of a game. Like, I expected a lot more points out of this one just because it's the Cowboys defense. But hey, listen, they held the Chargers to 17 points, and like I said, it's the NFL. If you can do that, that's impressive no matter what. Especially because I think the Chargers have a very good offense. But a solid game to watch. Not the most entertaining of the weekend, but a hard-nosed football game that the Cowboys came out on top of.
Yeah, I got to give them credit. Zuerlein came back, like you said, and made up for that. Missing a couple on a Thursday night game to start the season. Herbert, man, two picks. That was really the difference in the game. Also, Jared Cook with that Taunton call. Tough.
By the way,
man.
Dumbest rule I've ever seen. Ever.
Yeah, man. It's the suits. It's the suits up there, man. They want to see the game look a little bit different.
Back in my day, had us.
Yeah. I don't agree with it. I feel like the game should be fun, but also organized fun. As long as it's not over the top, it should be cool. But we'll see with the competition committee. We'll see what they change that next year. I'll give the NFL credit. They do change things up. They don't keep it the same all the time. So we'll see if with people speaking their voice about it. We'll see if they make a change. But yeah, Cowboys got it done. Got to win in it. Got to win the division. Everybody's expecting them to win this division pretty handily, especially with the quarterback. They have the best quarterback in the division. They have the best running back in the division right now. Defense is really stingy right now, turning the ball over. Got to give them credit, man. Big W for the boys. The Chargers, they got to keep it going, man. Like we've been talking about, Raiders and Broncos on their heels. So they got to get some W's in that division. Sunday Night Football. The reason why this episode is called "Finally Got One," Lamar finally gets the W against Patrick Mahomes. Was 0-3 previously. Close game, man. I mean, as it was about to be 0-4 if Hilaire doesn't fumble right there. Big time play by their edge rusher Oweh. Lamar was spectacular. In the second half, had the pick six and then the pick two, both interceptions to the Honey Badger. I thought it was going to get ugly from there here on out, but the defense stepped up, made some plays. Mahomes made a errant pass where you expected it to be, a terrible pass, which led to an interception, which gave Baltimore the ball back. And Lamar, he played excellent, man. I mean, he's their entire offense. I'm still not really too impressed with their skill position players outside of Mark Andrews. Hollywood Brown made a big play, got open with that jump pass from Lamar for a touchdown. That was a big play for them. They needed that. But the Ravens, they got to be able to still. yeah, everybody hates the Cowboys, man. Love to hate them or you just hate them. So it's tough. It was a big time win for. It was tough for the Chiefs. Big time win for Baltimore at home. Had to get that one, man. You can't go down 0-2 to start the season. And then for the Chiefs, I mean, the Chiefs. The only thing I'll say about the Chiefs is their defense. Their defense needs a lot of work. They don't really have linebackers that are really household names outside of Chris Jones. That defensive line isn't really that good. And then in the secondary, outside of Honey Badger, it's really not good either. So collectively, Steve Spagnuolo, he is going to have to get those guys going, man. You can't. Yes, you have an offense that can put up 40 points, but you can't. Doesn't mean you just give up 35. Because again, football, anything can happen, and Mahomes turns it over. That was his first interception in September, his entire career. Crazy.
First loss in September too.
First loss in September. Everything first for Mahomes. It seems like in year 4, so year 5, and so big tough loss for the Chiefs, but they're gonna bounce back. They still have excellent players on that team. That defense is gonna have to tighten up if they want to get back to that bowl.
Yeah, this game meant a lot more for the Ravens than it did for the Chiefs. Only because the Ravens are in a tougher division. I think the Chiefs are still going to run away with their division. The only thing that this changes for the Chiefs is that they can't be the first 17-0 team, which some people legitimately thought they could be. Now they can go 16-1. Damn it. But it wasn't – I felt like this – I said this yesterday, and I felt like this is a game that's never going to happen again on so many levels. So the Ravens get the touchdown because the ball's fumbled and their wide receiver somehow ends up with it.
Right.
Clyde fumbles in an important situation. Mahomes throws a stupid interception. The Ravens get a fourth down call that they should have never gone for, or that you would usually never go for. I mean, this is a game that I feel like is just never going to happen again. So you enjoy it as the Ravens. Listen, I'm well a part of the Lamar has reached his peak bandwagon. So I'm not as thoroughly impressed as a lot of people are with this game. Listen, he came back and won. I give him the credit for that. But
you see that stat right there, really?
Listen, I know, 9th career
most
game
since 19 to 50. Come on,
listen.
Come on, man.
I know.
Come on,
I know.
It's greatest dual threat ever. Period. It's nothing close. I mean, listen, Vic might have had a stronger arm, right? But bro, what he's doing right now, man, greatest dual threat ever, bro.
I don't know. I've seen some crazy Vic highlights, man.
Man, listen, bro. Look, Vic is elite, bro. He was elite. He was very elusive, but this guy's doing right here, man.
Peak has been reached, CJ. That's a fact. Ravens still going to lose the Chiefs in the playoffs. See, that's the other thing that I forgot to mention. Since when does the Chiefs' offense not cash in on turnovers? That's another thing that I feel like is never going to happen. You give this team 2 turnovers like that, yeah, not happening. Not happening ever again. But I don't know. Listen, he threw those interceptions, and then they went back to what the Ravens should do, and that is run the ball. And that's when they started playing well again. So for me,
right, but he's the reason why. He's the best running back on the team. He's the best quarterback on the team. He's the best running back on the team. Right?
This was a great game, CJ, for RB Lamar.
For sure, yeah, for sure.
Quarterback Lamar, not very good.
I mean, yeah, he made some bad reads early for sure. I think for him, I agree. You know, his passing definitely needs some work. But for me, I feel
Like
like
that first play of the game overthrows Hollywood touchdown.
he got to work on that. He definitely has to work on that. He has to also work on making the layup passes too. There's nothing wrong with checking it down. If he checks it down, then it can open up some of those deep passes. But yeah, you know, his passing is what it is. But man, that read option. I mean, listen. I mean, you could. That's fine. That's fine. I mean, you could say that. Yeah, of course, he's a better running threat, but you get both. So,
Right.
I mean, and again, I still haven't seen an elite wide receiver on that team. They got a bunch of threes and fours over there. Maybe a two in Hollywood. He could be a two, maybe. So, yeah, good win though. Good win though. It could have easily been an L. I mean, Chiefs, they lost by one. Like I said, Hilaire holds onto the ball. They kick a field goal.
They win. So. Absolutely.
It just speaks to how dangerous the Chiefs could be. You have to literally get
if you don't
those type
perfect,
of plays. Yeah,
you have to play perfect against the Chiefs, and the Ravens kind of did towards the end of the
second
game.
half. Right, the second half.
Second half was perfect.
Right.
The first half was tough to watch. But yeah, round us out with the Monday Night Football game there, CJ.
Packers Lions. Me and Matt talked about this. I said it was going to be a close game early, and then the Packers are going to pull away. That's exactly what happened. Jared Goff, was looking pretty solid. Had a nice little dime to T.J. Hawkinson in the back of the end zone. Nice little pass there, but all in all, the defense just kind of fell flat in the second half. Aaron Jones almost we talked about. Almost carried.
Beat me in fantasy this week.
Almost carried my fantasy team and still caught the L. It was tough for me, but he had an exceptional game. Didn't play great last week. So coming back against the Lions, getting 4 touchdowns total, 3 receiving, 1 rushing. First running back in Green Bay history to get 3 receiving touchdowns and rushing. I mean, he's a lethal threat. This team really goes as far as Aaron Jones goes. I mean, you look at that NFC Conference Championship game. He got hurt in that game, and he missed the rest of the game. I mean, if he's in that game, it could change the complexity of that game 100%. He's definitely one of the most important players on that team because Matt LaFleur likes to run the ball. He likes to run the ball first and then work off the play action. So, I mean, it was a solid pass by Goff. I got to give him credit. But yeah, great bounce back by Green Bay. I know everybody's talking about the offseason, or is this it for Rodgers? But at the end of the day, it's the Lions, man. It should be an easy dub. So then they got it done.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch it over to next week, but as I do that, I will talk about it as well. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what you expected. I mean, were we really expecting the Packers to be this bad this season? I don't think anybody really was. So they win the game. It shouldn't really be a surprise to anybody. The Lions just aren't going to be very good this year. I don't know how many Lions fans are out there, but I'm sorry to tell you that they're not going to be the greatest team of all time this year. But Packers did what they had to do. Aaron Jones, I forever hate you with the burning passion because your boy was up 50 points, I believe, and I had to play against Aaron Jones and T.J. Hawkinson, so I ended up losing by the way. Take a fat L.
Yeah,
definitely not a happy man.
Wish I had Hawkinson.
But with that being said,
let's get into
week. Let's get into week 3 of the NFL season. We'll go through this pretty quick, a reason or two why we picked the team because, we don't want to keep the people too long. But we start off with Thursday Night Football. CJ, Panthers, Texans, who you got?
Yeah, I'm rolling with Carolina. I think, they're continuing to play really well. I like that defense. I think McCaffrey has a big game. I know it's a road game, but I'm going with the Panthers.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Panthers as well. I don't think Tyrod's going to play. That changes everything. I would have picked the Panthers either way, but Tyrod makes the game a little bit closer. But without him, that's a fat L. Colts and Titans. I'm going with the Titans on this one, CJ. I would have picked the Colts, but I don't think my boy, Mr. No ankles. Carson Wentz is going to be able to play.
No ankles. Man, yeah. If he's out, it's gonna be tough for the Colts. I'm going with Tennessee as well. I think it's gonna be a close game. It's a divisional game. Both of these teams really go at it. Hope if they can't stop Henry, it's gonna be a long night for Indianapolis. So I'm gonna go with the Titans in this one.
Next up, we have the Giants and the Falcons. Listen, it's a home game for the Giants. I think they're getting their first win because, as Shannon Sharp said on Undisputed, any quarterback with the pulse might be able to throw for 350 against the Falcons.
Going with the G-men as well. Gotta get this. You gotta get this W. This is like this is like the biggest must-win on your schedule, probably. Or biggest layup on your schedule. So I'm going with the G-men to get this one by maybe a touchdown or so.
Then we have the Chargers at the Chiefs. Listen, the Chiefs aren't losing 2 in a row. I love the Chargers. I actually have them make the playoffs. I do. But home game for the Chiefs, back-to-back losses, I don't think so.
Going with the Chiefs as well, man. Arrowhead, tough environment for the Chargers. Had that W was right there for them against the boys. Weren't able to get it done. Like you said, I just don't see the Chiefs losing 2 in a row. I'm pretty sure they want to respond after the Sunday night football game, going with Kansas City.
No, this one's a little bit tougher for me. Bengals at the Steelers. It's a home game for the Steelers. I think, you know what? I think I'm going to go with the Bengals.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm right there with you, bro. We pretty much on the same wavelength right now with these games. Yeah, I'm going with Cincy. I'm going with Cincy, man. I think Joe Burrow wants to respond after that. Three interceptions and 3 consecutive drives. That was pretty nasty against the Bears. Steelers, I just don't know what I'm gonna get offensively from them, man. I really don't. I don't know what. I can't really call who's gonna be that guy. I know what the Bengals got over there. They got some dogs over there, so I'm rolling with Cincy. We got the Bears and the Browns. Big cloak. Justin Fields might be in there, depending on Dalton's status. Could be Dalton. Could see Fields versus Baker. Could be a nice one. Who you got?
I gotta go with the Browns, man. I can't. I just can't confidently pick the Bears to win a game. I can't do it.
Yeah, I gotta go with Cleveland too. Solid run game. That Bears defense is really good too. It might be a defensive battle. They could get Baker turning the ball over. I think it could be a little bit closer, but I think Cleveland still gets it done. We got the Ravens and the Lions. Not really too much to say here. I'm gonna go with Baltimore.
Yeah, this isn't exactly rocket science. I'll go with the Ravens too.
Right, our teams. Excuse me. Saints. Patriots in Foxborough. James pulling up to Foxborough against Mac Jones and the squad. Who you got?
Come on. Patriots all the way. This is Jameis Winston pulling up against Bill Belichick. No faith in the boy. Patriots pick off Jameis at least twice.
Yeah, I got Ole Gear on, so you know who I'm gonna take. Got the Cardinals and the Jaguars. I got the Cards in this one. They start the season 3-0.
Yeah, I can't pick the Jaguars in any confidence anyway. Yeah. So I definitely have to go with the Cardinals as well. Matt, I don't know. I know you guys talked about the game already, but you see the Jaguars mascot post game? I did not.
I did not see that.
I did not. Let me know. Yeah, but I got to go with the Cardinals.
Gotta go with the Cardinals. All right, we got Heineke versus Josh Allen. The football team, they pull up to Western New York. Who you got?
Listen, it might be a little bit of a closer game than I feel like people will think just looking at the team names. But I'm going to go with the Bills in a closer one here. Maybe a 6-point field goal type of game. Heineke isn't too bad. He is not too bad. The Bills have kind of struggled on offense a little bit. The one thing that does concern me, though, is that Washington has this, godlike front seven, and first 2 games they haven't exactly been godlike. So they get a little extra time since they played on Thursday, but I don't know.
Going with the Bills as well. Heineke, good solid player. Like you said, the front seven is, they have the talent, but hasn't really clicked right now in terms of Washington. I'm gonna go with Buffalo, man, in this one. Home game this year to get that done. Jets, Broncos. Got to go with the Broncos.
I mean, I ain't picking the Jets to win. Come on.
Yeah, man. Sorry, my guy, Vic. Sorry, bro. Dolphins going to Las Vegas. You got in that one. I don't know if Tua's gonna play. We might see Brissett. I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
I wish I could disagree with you so we could change it up here, but I can't. Because I mean, if Tua was playing, maybe it's a different story. But Jacoby Brissett, we just saw. I mean, it was 35-0. So gotta go with the Raiders pretty confidently.
For sure. Seahawks and the Vikings. Seahawks, both coming off some, very disappointing losses, both teams in week 2. Seattle going to Minnesota. You got in that one.
I'm sticking with Seattle. I'm all aboard the Russ for MVP train. I need him to get his flowers. We got Logan saying that the Jets got their first win against the Broncos. Okay. Hey, listen, I wouldn't be mad. I would not be mad. I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I just got too much respect for Russ. Same.
I think it's going to be a good game. 2 really good offenses. Gotta go. I know guys expecting us to disagree, but I mean,
listen, you know what they say.
These are kind of late. This is layup. It's kind of little layup games right here. I don't know, man.
I might have to make a little parlay this week.
Yeah, it might be a couple of shockers, but easy. Yeah. This is way too easy. I'm going with Seattle.
Game of the week, though. Game of the week. Next up, we got the Bucs and the Rams. This is going to be fun. We said the Rams are the team that can kind of give the Bucs a run for their money. It's in LA. I'm still going with Brady.
Yep. Again, Rams. Yeah. Rams, really good team. They look great. CNC agreeing on things. Word. That's a fact. Great minds, like my guy said. Rams look good. But I'm gonna go with the Bucs, man. I have to go with the Bucs. I want to see that defense play a little bit better too. Their defense hasn't played great. I think they have a better game at SoFi. This is a Sunday night football game, right? Sunday night football game.
Sir.
This is a NFC Conference Championship rematch from 2 years ago between the Packers and the Niners. Who you rolling with?
I'm actually rolling with the Niners. They kind of have the Packers number. I have not been impressed with the Packers defense. I haven't even been impressed with the Packers offense, honestly. Listen, they scored a lot of points this week. They played the Lions. I hope you did. But the defense doesn't impress me too much. The 49ers have the game plan to keep it away from them, and they put a lot of pressure on Aaron Rodgers in the few times they played. So I'm going with the 49ers.
I'm going to roll with Green Bay. It's going to be a very close game. The 49ers like to run the ball. They're going to try to keep the ball out of Rodgers' hands as much as possible, control the clock. But I think Rodgers just makes a few more plays than Garoppolo. It's going to be a really good game, close game, Levi Stadium, but I'm going to go with Rodgers. I think they get it done in a close one.
See, there you go, guys. We disagreed on something. All was right in the world. And then to round out the week, Monday Night Football, we have the Eagles and the Cowboys. This is kind of a gross game, but I hate the Cowboys so much. You know what? Listen, I'm all about the family. My brother's an Eagles fan, so I'll stick with the Eagles. Why not? Why not have a happy fan?
Respect that. I respect that. Yes, sir. I'm gonna go with where I'm gonna go with the Cowboys, bro. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. It's gonna be a close game, divisional matchup in the NFC least. I think Dak versus Hurts. I think both of them are really nice little comp between those two. That's a potential comp for Hurts is really a younger version of Dak. But I think Dallas, man, I think they just make a few more plays. I like their stingy defense going with the Cowboys.
Listen, we're all kind of screwed up. I'm a Patriot fan in New York. My other brother's a Patriot fan. And then my other brother's an Eagle fan. We're kind of screwed up, I don't know. Not a single child in this household likes a New York team for football. So, we're a little messed up. But yeah, those are our week 3 predictions. A long show, but a great one as usual. CJ, before we go, unless you got anything else, what you got for the people?
Not too much, man. Keeping it going. You can check us here 9 p.m. every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm doing stuff for streaming, CJ versus the World. Follow me over there on Twitch. Follow my gaming page also on IG and Twitter as well. NBA coming, it was right around the corner. Looking forward to that. Talking some hoops with the guys. So, looking with the guys. So, definitely check me out, Garda Pod, over there, streaming on all platforms. Yeah, man, we're here.
Yes, sir. As for me, you know what it is by now. Anthony Conover _ on Twitter. Gen Z Sports from our one show, Mondays, 7 Eastern. Me and my boy Josh, two Generational Sports. Talk a little bit about everything. Obviously, we're deep into football because the season is underway, but, throwing a little UFC there. When basketball starts back up, we'll talk about that. And then Tuesdays, obviously, me and CJ do this, 9 p.m. Eastern. And then Thursday, I got Backstop Banter with Mr. Michael Lawson. In fact, we got a nice episode this weekend, or this week on Thursday. We got a pitcher from the Reds coming on the show, recovering from Tommy John this year. So he made some time for us, talking, about his journey. I believe this is his second Tommy John surgery, so coming back from it again, everything of that nature. So make sure you check out that very special episode. I don't know if Michael will be alive by the end of it because we're talking to a Red player, but hey, come on, see what happens. But that's all I got. CJ, thank you for joining me. My wonderful co-host, as always. Matt, Logan, everybody in the comments. Appreciate you as always. And don't worry, people. We'll be back next week.